Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Blue Clouds Media Sports. My name is Nate Zion, as usual, and I'm here with my special guest, Adam. Happy to have him here. Looking back on the highlights of the um 20 the World Cup, ongoing World Cup right now. Saudi Arabia, Argentina, U.S England, and others. Stunning World Cup upsets. England dominate Iran 6-2 in the in the opening game on 2022 World Cup, and also Jude Bellingham opens the scoring with a well-taken header before Bukayo Saka and Raheem Sterling extended England's lead in the first half. Here we are. I'm being joined here by a great England soccer fan. You know, he's English at the same time, and also a renowned Chelsea supporter. So we're gonna go through how to be an England or an English supporting the national team at this moment. Adam, welcome to Blue Clouds Media Sports.
Thank you. Good to be here.
You're always welcome, brother. As you watch the game, were you expecting
Mm.
that number of goals in the first half, Adam?
No, I mean, obviously, you saw a team sheet when it came out, and I was impressed by the lineup. I thought it was a good lineup. Defensively wise, probably not as good, but no, I wasn't expecting that kind of score, and also by so many different players too. I mean, obviously, we had Raheem Sterling, one of us, so many goal scorers. So yeah, it was a pleasant surprise, definitely.
Yeah, I thought so, but I wasn't expecting that number of score. I mean, different um players. I mean, getting on the score sheet. Great performance from Jude Bellingham, and also we'll
Mm.
come back to Jude Bellingham as you know Chelsea player as linked with Chelsea, as he's been linked with Chelsea, and also very great praise from Bukayo Saka. That player, what do you make of his performance so far in the
Brilliant.
competition?
Brilliant. I mean, obviously, we saw last July, the Euros,
Right.
missed a penalty, obviously, got a lot of abuse from it, but I think he's really came back fighting, definitely, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd probably go with him or Jude are probably my two favourite from that game, the two strongest players.
Jude Bellingham.
Really good selection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
And
been.
so young.
Go ahead.
19 years old, like really young. So you just the skill that they're bringing into the Mason Mount too as well. I mean, that game he was everywhere as well. He was all over that game in every kind of position. So I think it's a very young England squad, but obviously they're doing something right. So so far so good.
Yeah, definitely doing something right. Missing out never steal the headlines as it is. Whatever he does, a lot of people found something wrong with Mason Mount performance. And I don't
Mm.
know. He's been going through a lot of abuse from not even outsiders, but some Chelsea fans. And I found it very, very difficult to understand because he was very instrumental. He was everywhere on the pitch, distributing passes, going for 50-50 balls, getting into players' faces, making sure that he wins passes and distribute those passes to whoever score. I was surprised that he didn't get on the score sheet to get on the headlines as well. But then Jude Bellingham, as a Chelsea fan, do you think, because I remember that there was an article that I read earlier on when Frank Lampard was at Chelsea. He needed Jude Bellingham and then Declan Rice, but he never got his wishes. Do you think this is the right time that Chelsea?
Wow. It's a difficult one to say. I'm a little bit reluctant because obviously this season we brought in so many players,
Right.
spent a lot of money, and to be honest, the results aren't there yet, as we've all seen over the past, games that we played so far. Uh, I think it's definitely worth looking into. Definitely. I mean, I don't really know enough about him at the moment to make an informed choice. Obviously, playing in the Bundesliga, not Premier League as well. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a possibility. Um, but then again, saying that, our squad at the moment, most of our squad is very, very young. Okay, we've got obviously Thiago Silva, who is 37. Um, I don't know whether he is the answer to Chelsea at the moment, to be honest. I think I'd before making yes or no, I think I'll wait till the end of this tournament, see what happens, and then make a choice. But Declan Rice is another one. I mean, obviously, season after season, he is. People say he's come to Chelsea, come to Chelsea. not happened yet. I don't know if it ever is going to happen. I mean, he's still obviously quite young,
Right.
and came through our ranks, Chelsea youth team, but not sure if it's going to happen.
From what I read from Matt Law and also I think Simon Johnson, they really um specify that it could happen this time. At 70 million price tag on him at the moment, and Chelsea is looking like the destination for Declan Rice if he has to move away from West Ham to any other Premier League team, because that he had made that statement that Chelsea is his dream team. I don't know if that could be one of the motivation. That could be one of the reason for Chelsea to be the front team to go for him.
Yeah, I think if he goes anywhere, it will be Chelsea. I can't see it being anywhere else. It's in his blood.
Great, great. Harry Kane. The latest news that we just had, I just had from social media. Harry Kane looks like he's going to be fit for the English game. Were you a little bit nervy? And where do you think that it was going to be a bit worried not having Harry Kane against USA?
I was doubtful that he would actually be playing on Friday, but I think with Harry Kane, he's one of those players that if he appears and if he's on form, he'll do really well. But we saw on Monday's game, he didn't really have much of a impact on Monday's game. It's got to be said, unfortunately. Um, so I'm kind of thinking as well, even if he wasn't playing on Friday, I don't think it would make that much
A
of a
difference?
difference. I don't feel that at the moment, just basically purely on what I saw on Monday. But I suppose it would be good. Obviously, we've got loads of options on the bench as well. So I think, yeah, it's obviously going to be good if he does play. To be honest.
Yeah, I'm here joined by a special guest. My special guest or your viewer, Adam. Adam is a Chelsea fanatic, Chelsea sports. He supports Chelsea from childhood till now. So yeah, we'll be moving on to Saudi Arabia, Argentina, U.S. England, and other stunning World Cup upset. We'll be taking a look at the first upset of the World Cup. It is Saudi Arabia. No one was expecting Saudi Arabia to humble Argentina 2-1. Adam, were you expecting that scoreline in the first place?
Yeah, I was speechless. I mean, come on, you got Messi, you got so many good players in the Argentina side. I'll be honest. I looked at when I saw the score sheet for Saudi Arabia. I hardly didn't recognise any of the names. So I just was for me so far. That's been the biggest surprise of the tournament. Good for them. And I think I heard also they're having like a national day, like a national holiday.
National holiday right after the yeah.
Yeah, because they beat them. So it just goes to show. This is how I feel at the moment about the World Cup. It just goes to show. Basically, I think it could well be anyone's game at this stage. I can't really predict who will. Obviously, I want to say England as an England fan, but I can't really say who will, be lifting that trophy. You know, it's impossible. Football at best, you can never really predict the results, especially being a Chelsea fan. Um, but yeah, it could go when you see their kind of performance. It could go anyway. I think a lot of people would agree with that.
Would you say Argentina was so sloppy, or they just did not think? Were they so sloppy, or did not show respect to the Saudi Arabian team,
I
or was
mean,
Saudi Arabia had a game plan?
yeah, I think having a neutral eye watching the game, it did feel that Saudi were a lot more together. There were more tactics, a lot more clinical, and also Argentina, they had a lot of opportunities to score. I thought too, but wasn't there. And then when you saw they were, at first they got the goal, I think, then they drew, and then before you knew it, I think they just lost the confidence maybe as well, which I think as you know with Chelsea, I think that does affect us quite a lot. If we see that we're drawing or we're down by one, confidence comes into it a lot. So a complete shock. I mean, good for Saudi Arabia. They did play very well. I think everyone would be saying they played really well. Um, but yeah, mind blowing game that was.
Yeah, it is.
Really,
And
really
and then also looking at the US game, they played very well, but I felt like they were lacking the kind of a quality up front when they play well, because they have so much energy. I was wondering, I couldn't understand the reason why that the captainship has to go to Tyler Adams instead of Christian Pulisic. Christian Pulisic, world football is higher. Whatever he has achieved in world football is way, way not anywhere compared to what Tyler Adams has achieved. And experience wise, Christian Pulisic has more than Tyler Adams. In the pitch, they were lacking the leader. Did you
Yeah.
see that? I'm not sure if you watched that game.
I kind of had it on while I was doing my dinner, so I didn't watch it all the way through to be honest. But yeah, that was another funny one with Wales too, because when you think Wales, they've got a lot of good players. They've got Ben Davies, Ethan
Yeah.
from obviously from Chelsea, a lot of big names, Gareth Bale, um, and again, like you were saying earlier, in America, soccer isn't as big as it is here.
Yeah.
It's all baseball, American football. But yeah, I mean they played okay-ish. I don't think they were. I don't think they were terrible. Um, but yeah, that was another surprise result for me personally.
I
Yeah.
mean, I watched the whole game till
Mm.
the end, and US really dominated the whole entire first half. But what I was saying is, from that much energy that they put into the game in the first half, if they don't get many goals as expected, they will end up bending out with maybe around the 60th to 70th minute, and then Wales will come in and use the experience from Gareth Bale. I said that
Mm.
it didn't take that long until he was being fouled in the 18-yard box and he had the penalty to equalize and get a 1-1 for Wales. I mean, 50 or 60 years since he's been in Wales, participating in the World Cup. What a result for them. So I was asking, with these two teams, with the coaches, which one would be much more disappointed and which one would be much more happier with a point to take home?
I think Wales. Yeah, like you say, it was so many years since they've actually been in the World Cup, and I've got a lot of Welsh friends, and they were literally crazy about watching the game and things. And you saw the fans in the stadium too as well, and around the UK, just going mental. Um, so yeah, I think Wales were a lot more. Obviously, they wanted to win, but I think they were a lot more better performance than the US. That's how I felt about it anyway. Really, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. As we're getting close to our discussions, we got to talk a little bit about Chelsea, Chelsea in
Chelsea.
general, Chelsea. Graham Potter, under Graham Potter have played. He played quite a number of games though, and then so many losses also. Hold on, let me.
Mm.
It's recording. Good thing it's recording. I got to cut it off.
Cool.
Okay. Take it over here. We're talking Chelsea, Adam over here. Graham Potter has played 14 games, 7 losses, 3 draws, and 4 losses. Is it time that Chelsea fans should worry, or we should just relax and Graham Potter will get his own players and Chelsea will find his spot again?
It's a very difficult question. Graham Potter, like I say, he started off really well, had a good, fair few good games at the start, and then the past. I mean, I was actually lucky enough to be at the game Chelsea versus Arsenal back on the 6th of November. Um, that game was it was terrible. We had so many chances to score. We should have won that game. We didn't. Graham Potter. I know a lot of people probably won't like me saying this, but hands on heart, I don't really believe he's got what it takes to lead Chelsea. Not when you think about Tuchel, how good he was. We won the Champions League. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. Like I say in my head, obviously I know Graham Potter is our manager, but in my heart, it's still Thomas Tuchel really, because that for me he had that spirit about him. He had that Chelsea spirit, the passion.
If-
But I don't see it, Graham Potter. I mean, time will tell. I hope we've got obviously a long break until our next game.
Yeah,
Um, so I think time will tell. But honestly, I really don't think he's going to be with us for a long time. And I know a lot of people won't like me saying that, but we know as Chelsea fans, we know exactly what it's like. We barely have a manager longer for 2 years, really.
right.
So
Well,
I think yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead. Are you done?
Just going to say really that I think what Tom has achieved with the club, and then he was obviously let go. Um, and Todd, he's put so much money into the club, and to get beaten by teams which are quite frankly not up to anywhere near Chelsea standard is it's embarrassing. And I just don't get the impression that Todd's the kind of guy that will keep him on.
Yeah, I think I agree and unquote disagree somewhere in explains that from the antics of coach when you see coaches standing on the touchline, I don't see that coming up from Graham Potter. I know he's not that kind of a manager, like the way Thomas Tuchel stands on the touchline and throws his hands here and there for players to do certain things. We see that from Antonio Conte. We see that from uh um Arsenal coach and Mikel Arteta also did the same thing when it came to Stamford Bridge. He put some kind of um I don't know. He put some kind of an energy in the players for them to be able to get the 3 points as he want from them. But Potter was so quiet on the touchline, and then also I think we have to give Potter some time. I saw Chelsea in Thomas Tuchel. I saw Chelsea in him, the way he's passion at the touchline and the way he wants things to go for him. But from other articles that I read, it looks like Thomas Tuchel doesn't want to go with what Todd Bowley wants him to do. So he think that the right manager that can understand his philosophy, understand his what he's trying to put into Chelsea will be Graham Potter, a Graham Potter guy who knows how to bring young talent from grassroots and make them superstar. That is the kind of that's the kind of owners that we have, and we have to understand that this is a different kind of owners that we have. The model that we have now is not the kind of a owner that would invest and would not think of having anything back. Roman Abramovich was thinking of investing to the team, not thinking of gaining anything back. But then he wants his brand, he wants his club, the team that he invests in to make name. That's what he was thinking of, but not thinking of himself, not thinking of what he wants to make from the club. But these Americans are different. They want success, also come up with uh, uh, um, profit, the club to earn profit and to be more sustainable like Liverpool is. That's the kind of route that we're going through. So the model that um, Thomas Tuchel is trying to go with what is the top ball, it wasn't going to work. So that is the idea of sacking Thomas Tuchel and bringing in Graham Potter. But I think if you give him time, two transfer windows, January and then next summer, he might do contract to Graham Potter, something that we haven't really see that happen at Chelsea for a long time. Do you think that he really has the cojones, will I say cojones, to take Chelsea through to the destination with 6 year contract given to Graham Potter?
No. um, I think, yeah. Well, I mean, like I say, I'm not going to be saying too much in a moment. I think wait till we come back from the World Cup. Give us to get a few games in hand. Um, give him time. I think give him a little bit of time. Um, they should give him to the end of the season at least. I would like to hope so, but then again, you never know how it's going to go. We've had so many managers the past recent years that haven't lasted long at all. Frank Lampard, um, yeah, loads. So I think give him time, give him to the end of the season. But I think 6 years is a long time.
Right.
Is a very long time. I'll be surprised if it lasts that long. I really will be. But hey, you never know.
Definitely, you wouldn't know. Well, thank you very much, Adam. Thank you for your time, and it's really
My pleasure.
appreciate you coming on. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the World Cup. Let's see the best. Probably going to have you on before maybe if there is time. We're going to talk a little bit about U.S. and England playing their next game. Hope you enjoy
Cool.
the rest of the day. See you later.
You too. Thank you very much. See you later.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.